Recently, it was announced that a group of very prominent artists were putting out a protest album, an album of silence. I'm the Lovely Ray, and I'm delighted to spend a little time with you today. I was born and raised in the U.S., but over the past few years, I've been fortunate enough to spend some time chatting online with people from all over the world, thanks to a little website called Cambly. I don't have any strong opinions about the Cambly English learning platform, but my conversations with folks from other countries has left me with a lot to think about. So, in this podcast, I thought I'd share a little with you and maybe we can keep the conversation going. Warning. This podcast is about stripping down and having real conversations. So, if you're looking for someone to dress things up, well, as the old saying goes, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. I save my lipstick for the stage, dearest, and dressing up for the bedroom. I do not dress up my conversations with friends. So, I'd love to have a chat. So delightful to chat with you again, my friend. Oh, how I've missed you. Would I be lying if I said I missed the sound of your voice? Well, it would be true if you and I have had a conversation together before. However, I must confess it would be a bit of a stretch if we've never had a chat before. So, I don't know if it would be a lie per se to say I miss the sound of your voice, but it is with all of my heart that I tell you truthfully, I miss the way you make me feel. And you do make me feel oh so many things. Yeah. And I just think that when it comes to feelings, how we feel about certain things, how they move us, well, this does vary. You know what I'm thinking of, my lovelies? I'm thinking of the sound of silence. Do you like silence? How does it make you feel? Do you feel anxious? Do you feel calm? Do you feel relaxed? Do you feel excited? Maybe confused? You see, recently it was announced that a group of very prominent artists were putting out a protest album, an album of silence. This is their way of saying to the UK government, no way. We are not going to stand by and let you pass legislation that will take our hard work, our skill, our talents, and just give it over to these AI companies. Meanwhile, we are robbed of all of our efforts. Meanwhile, we are subject to having our names applied to things that we never agreed to, having us create sounds that we never consented to. Oh, bad UK government. And yet, the UK can simply say, well, look over at the US. Look what they're doing with AI. We're simply trying to keep up with the times. And yet, how effective is this kind of protest? Well, I do have to say I applaud the effort. It is quite ingenious, if you asked me, which I don't know that you did because I can't quite hear you very well right now. Perhaps Perhaps it is me. And yet, I do feel for this protest in the sense that on the global stage, it simply isn't getting enough recognition that it is due. Why, pray tell? Well, I chatted about this before, how the news cycle has so much going in, and it just goes so quickly that before you know it, it's all over. That story that was at the top of everyone's minds, the story that was on everyone's lips, has suddenly faded away. And so, while the Silent Album hit the streaming networks only days ago, as of the recording of this podcast, it was 3 days ago to be exact, I can't help but feel, could this have been announced at a different time, a better time? After all, the Oscars have just left us, and wasn't that just 3 days ago? After all, the tariffs implemented by the U.S. government, tariffs being placed upon Canada and Mexico, tariffs have been started. And other countries are watching because the so-called President of the United States has stated that more tariffs will come, and he's got his eye on Europe. Well, with all of these things taking place, it's understandable that the buzz about the Silent Album wouldn't be something known to everyone, to many, especially to those outside of the UK. And yet, wouldn't it be lovely if artists in America did the same thing? Wouldn't it be wonderful if artists around the world united and said, no more? Government, when it comes to AI, you have been naughty, and we won't put up with it. Now, as an artist myself, I do have my eye on lawsuits filed by many American artists. Lawsuits that they filed saying to these big AI companies, hey now, you can't just have your machines take my sound and my likeness and do what you want. Oh no, that's how I make my livelihood. And to be fair, think about what you do, my lovely. What do you do to survive? What do you do to make all your dreams come true? To make the world that you want? Are you making the world that you want? Well, I know that if I were, say, someone who spent hours toiling away, building maybe a house. I'm a carpenter. I have built this house with my hands, my time, my talent. I have put in the work. To have someone else come along and simply take that house and put their name on the mailbox without giving me some sort of credit or compensation, I would not be too happy. Now you might say, oh, Ray, these artists, they have tons of money. What do they care? After all, shouldn't people be able to do as they wish? It's just a friendly exchange, no harm done. They don't need more. And yet, I look at those within the arts community just starting out and eager to make some money, quick to apply for that job that says, hey, we'll give you $500, $200, $10 per word, $10 per minute, $1,000. We'll give you some money simply to lend us your voice. Just read some words into the microphone. Just go ahead and say this little phrase for us. I mean, models have been going through it for a while, haven't they? Stock photos. Just pose with this object. Just sit here and smile. Just look sad. Just be in this wheelchair. Just stand and point and smile. Lo and behold, that money is nice in the moment, but a few years later, they find themselves going, wait a minute. I didn't consent to have my image used in that political campaign. Wait a minute. That corporation has millions of dollars that they spend on advertising, and they maybe paid what? $5, $2 for my photo. I maybe got what? 10 cents at most. How is that fair? Yes. Artists do have to be careful in terms of what they consent to, because what feeds you today could take from you tomorrow. And in this digital age, we're all putting information online. You might be saying, Ray, I'm not an artist. What do I care? And I say, oh, baby, slow down. Listen, you put yourself out there every single day. Every time you go online and post on social media, every time you go online, like a photo, send a message to a friend, send and click and like, and maybe put a little something in the comments, honey. Do you sometimes comment on someone else's posts? Love that. I agree with that. I don't agree with that. I can't believe that person said, did. Always putting yourself out there. And once it's out there, well, there's no taking it back. Oh, yes. Well, a little actress who was recently nominated for an Oscar felt the pain of that lesson when someone dug up old tweets of hers and put them out there to the public to say, hey, is this person really who they claim to be? Are they really equal opportunity for all? Doesn't sound so. And though this actor apologized for these statements, they say, I was younger and I meant no harm. Fact is, once it's out there, words can be twisted, images can be manipulated, songs can be restyled in a way that simply doesn't serve you or hold its original meaning. Yes. And so, even if we are all putting ourselves out there day in and day out, does it really mean that others have the right to benefit from what we put out there? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, darling. I've right-clicked on an image and saved it to my computer because it matched what I wanted and needed. It filled my void, but I'm also the kind of girl who says, hey, don't go taking my stuff without giving me a little credit, a little recognition. After all, I don't want my face to appear on some website that I didn't consent to. I don't want my voice to be altered, saying things that I never said. And I'm fully aware of the risk I take putting these words out there. But there are some risks that are worth taking in life. And there are some that are simply not worth taking. Yes, it's a big risk to say, hey, I deserve more. I'm worth more. And that, my lovelies, is a risk worth taking. Ask yourself, where in your life are you possibly being undervalued? Yeah. I mean, if you want to get down to business, you want to make sure that you are fairly and adequately compensated for what it is that you do. And you do it so well. Now, let's be frank. It is often thought of as the haves and have-nots. Those who have not say, what's the harm? And those who have say, hey, I worked hard to get here. This wasn't easy. I was breaking my back just to make these things happen. And lovelies, it's not just the arts. Oh no, it's not just singers who are being negatively impacted by our quick adoption of AI. Oh no, in so many ways, businesses are so quick to use AI technology to be the first to get everyone to see how amazing their implementation of AI truly is, how unique, how ingenious, that they seem to forget that all of this change will have an impact. I mean, now that I have AI in my language learning app, I don't have to see my online tutor as often because I can make more mistakes with AI safely, securely, and it's far more affordable, even though I do prefer the connection I have with my tutor. I mean, hey, if AI could answer a question for me, then I could get what I need from this bank website or government website much faster than waiting on holds for someone to take my call and answer my question. Then again, what if I have more than one question? Or what if there's some information only another human being who's being thoughtful, who's listening, who's thinking on my behalf would think to tell me that AI just isn't programmed to do? Yeah. Decisions. It's a little amusing to me. I remember being on Cambly and talking to a woman who was in college and an AI learning program. And she asked me, "Do you use AI?" And I said, well, if you mean ChatGPT, no, I don't. And I haven't. She looked at me appalled. She seemed almost outraged and offended that I had not embraced ChatGPT like so many others. Now, full disclosure, I did use Gemini a couple of times for assistance and coming up with some ideas, but ChatGPT I have not used. Now, you may be saying to yourself, Ray, why, oh why, haven't you learned to use ChatGPT? I mean, there's 1,000,001 videos on YouTube about how you can be rich if you just embrace this new technology. And it's not going to take away jobs. It's going to create more jobs. Yeah. Well, to be fair, the voiceover artist industry has been saying for years that AI can be used to take jobs. We have to learn to use AI to create jobs. And yet, these laughable opportunities, being paid pennies to be the voice of some technology, how long does that last? And I do agree with my fellow voiceover artists. Let's not cry and panic. We are going to have to learn to work with this technology, but let's not kid ourselves. The same way the self-pump station, when you go to get gas, has meant that we need fewer professional gas attendants. The same way boarding an elevator and pushing a button to go up or down has meant we need fewer elevator operators. The same way the adoption of smartphones in everyone's pockets has meant we no longer need a telephone book, a telephone operator to transfer our call. Oh, we don't need these things. Obsolete. And so, in our adoption of AI, are we in itself becoming obsolete? Oh, darling, I hope not. I would hate to think of a world in which you and I weren't united. Yeah. And so, I love the idea of this protest album. I want everyone to protest in their own right. Maybe you refuse to take less than what you're worth. Oh, baby, do you know what you're worth? Do you know how much you mean to me? You are worth more than you know. And before I say goodbye, I encourage you to look at moments where you may be quick to take the shortcut to avoid interaction with someone else. Take a moment and pause before you download that game for free, that video for free, that song. Take a pause. I always laugh when someone says to me, why would I pay for Netflix when I can just watch the movie for free on this other device or link or site. And it's equivalent to going out to eat, really. I mean, sure, you can get food just about anywhere. However, you want to really think about the quality. I mean, what are you really paying for? When you go to a high-end restaurant, what are you paying for there that's different than, say, at that fast food joint? Well, you might be paying for service. You might be paying for atmosphere. You might be paying for better quality food. You might be paying for the skills of the chef who came up with that recipe. So, what are you willing to pay for? And what should people be willing to pay you? How much are you worth? And are you worth enough to fight for what you want? Is what you want what you deserve? Are you ready to stand up, protest in silence, to make a statement and keep others from wrongfully taking from you what you worked so hard for? I do hope so, darling. Well, it's been lovely chatting with you. I look forward to our next chat. And this little conversation has reminded me of a certain dancer I once worked with. Very greedy little thing. But that story in and of itself will have to wait for premium. Until next time, darling. Chat soon.